And we are live. Hey everybody, welcome back to CoopCouchGaming. All you Coop operatives out there, as well as anybody else that wants to join me on the couch today. So we pretty much just wrapped up the Knights and Pen and Paper stream. If you want to sort of get a idea of like why like we're just having like this like just chatting sequence, check out the last episode of Knights and Pen and Paper. It was what, episode 7? Episode 7? Yeah, check out episode 7, like the end of episode 7. Because like I went into sort of a rant, not really a rant. I went into a discussion about like I don't know how I find certain things confusing, like about like people and how they react to things. Specifically like people that do things like bad things and then get caught, how they get mad at like the people that catch them, even though they know, or they should know rather, that like what they're doing is bad. And like, yeah, you're just gonna get caught. You're gonna get caught, you know what I mean? So yeah, check out the end of episode 7 for the Knights and Pen and Paper stream if you like want to see that, like, you know, sort of the leading up to this. Because I felt like it would be just nice to sort of, I don't know, not really, I won't say rant, just kind of, I don't know, just chat for a little bit, you know, just kind of chill, chat, you know, sort of get some stuff off my mind, you know what I mean? Yeah, as the title would suggest, sort of, you know, we're just gonna chat for a little bit about kind of like just how, I don't know, how I think, I guess, like how I think about like interaction with other people, interactions like with, I don't know, because I, especially like in regards to like the streams, I feel like it's important because like some of you probably already are aware of like some of the stuff that I do. Like I know you guys, like in terms of like, you know, you had Mitchell on the stream, like he had his own personality, I have my personality, like I just wanted to give some more context, maybe is a good way to put it, as to like sort of who I am in a way, you know what I mean, and like why I communicate the way I do, like the way that I don't know, the sort of the topics and everything that like we cover here, you know what I mean. Like as I said at the end of the last you know, episode 7, Knights of Pen and Paper, we just finished that one. Like I said, I do have Asperger's syndrome. I would have to look, and I'm gonna pull up some facts about it, just to make sure I'm getting stuff right. But it at least was a on the autistic spectrum, right? Not that that really matters too much. It's neither here or there in my book, but like with Asperger's, you have a hard time, or at least from like what I know about it, you have a hard time picking up on certain social cues and sort of conveying certain social, I don't know, sort of acknowledging certain social norms when it comes to like how communication works. It's weird. Like I don't really know all the details about it myself, nor do I really care. I know some people like to fixate on stuff like that, where it's like, I don't know, where they fixated on it and make it more than it really is. But to me, it's just kind of like, I don't know, I'm just doing my own thing. Like as long as I'm still able to do what I need to do, it's like I don't care. You know, I legitimately don't care. Like, you know, call it what you will. I just call it just an average day in me. You know what I mean? It's just like, well. This is how I think, you know what I mean? But no, I wanted to pull up some facts about it just to kind of cover things. This is Wikipedia, but like from what I've seen here, I actually scrolled through it a little bit. I mean, everything's cited, so I'm assuming it's accurate. But yeah, just, yeah, difficulties in social interaction and nonverbal communication. Along with restricted and repetitive behaviors, or patterns of behaviors and interests. So that's why, like, if you guys ever catch me in a loop where I'm talking about like the same games or like the same like media or just like the same insert X or Y, it's because like that's just what I'm comfortable talking about. So like I know I hate the rant on like RuneScape all the time. And like I know I brought up RuneScape in the Reciteer stream earlier. It's like I just love RuneScape, man. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that's like a bad thing. Like call me out on it. No, I think it's funny. I think it's really funny when people call me out on it. When people call me out on this stuff. But like that's the thing. I'm like not really even too aware of it. Really, you know? Like I'm aware of it. Like I've called myself out on it. It's like, but like I find myself sometimes falling into a loop of like oh, I'm talking about this again. Oh, this relates to this, so I'm gonna talk about this. You know what I mean? Let's see. Let's see. No, let's go down a little bit. Exact cause is poorly understood, and it's either way. It's either you have it or not. I mean, that's good enough in my book. Oh yeah, interventions may include social skill training. I remember, yeah, actually when I was a kid, or at least I can't say I remember like firsthand experience, but like when I was younger, there was they actually were afraid that I was like not going to be able to really talk in like complete sentences. Even though like reading this, rarely do they note uh difficulty with like with actually forming words. Um yeah, like where I seen that somewhere. They said it in here somewhere. Hmm. Oh yeah, well here's another point that I'd like to bring up. Um struggled to form friendships, did not understand others' gestures or feelings, engaged in one-sided conversations about their favorite interests, and were clumsy. All right, well that's I'm over here. I think actually last night I literally dropped my cup and the controller in the span of like 10 minutes. Oh, it's funny because like while I don't really care about it, like I don't care what kind of whatever I'm diagnosed with or whatever, you know what I mean? Like I legitimately don't care, nor do I let it impact me. Nor do I think people really should. Just be yourself and like don't acknowledge it, but be aware of like why you are the way you are, but don't like dwell on it such that like you use it as an excuse for being these things, you know. um it's kind of like, wow, yes, I do have some difficulties when it comes to like interacting with people, like communication, things like that, like understanding like I don't know, sort of like social norms. Like wow, that's the case. I'm not barring myself out of that either. And I feel like both with my job, the way my job is, as well as even just the stream here, I feel like that's a good outlet to sort of branch into, in regards to sort of stepping out of that, you know. While I'm not really interacting with anybody directly, so maybe that does take some of it out of the. It does take a bit of the kind of social norm factor out of it because you're not getting any feedback, right? Or it's feedback through chat. I but with my job, for example, like I'm having to work with customers pretty much on a daily basis. That's basically my job at this point. And sometimes it'd be video call, sometimes it'd be just a phone call, sometimes it'd be back and forth. I mean, emails don't really count. I've always been good when it comes to like digital messaging. Like I'm super comfortable with that and fairly competent when it comes to that. But no, it's just the back and forth dialogue of just I don't know, sort of picking up on those social norms. Like I said at the end of the last episode of Knights and Pen and Paper, I Like there's been lots of times where people have like said after the fact of stuff, like other people, right, have said like, how did you, stay calm when he was, trying to start something with you, or how, did you notice how they were looking at you, like, in like a flirty kind of way, you know what I mean? It's just like, no, I didn't notice that at all. I didn't even know that guy was mad. I didn't know she was, wanting to get with me or something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't pick up on these things. Like, and I don't know. It's interesting because I don't know. It's interesting how brains work differently. It's like, wow, like a lot of people want to understand like how like the person that gets caught doing crime, right? Like how they can't picture themselves in the mind of that person. Like you could say the same thing with like a lot of different things. It's like I don't understand that. A lot of other people don't understand that, but to that person, they understand why they're getting mad about that, you know? It's like that's the confusing part about just like social interactions in general. It's like there's so many different ways to approach just the individual. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, it's confusing. It's confusing to me because like I don't know. It's like what creates the, like what defines the social norm, I guess, is like the question that everything kind of draws back to. I mean, there's a lot of factors, right? Your environment, your surrounding cultures, your surrounding races, all that, right? All that plays into like what the social norm of the area is, but I don't know. It just to me, I don't know, to me with how I think, and so like don't pick up on those really. It I don't know, it's confusing because like I don't know. Like I wouldn't know how to respond if I did do something out of line. Like I wouldn't know really how to respond because like I wouldn't know that like I'm doing that to begin with in a way, you know what I mean? It's weird because like say I accidentally, like I don't know, like I've never done it, but like if I walked into like somebody's into like somebody's yard or something, and it's like grass, or like not a yard but like a park where like it's marked like don't walk in the grass. It's like I've if I accidentally walked in the grass and somebody got really mad at me about it, like I wouldn't react as though I just got somebody mad at me about it. Like I would just be like, oh sorry, I'm just gonna go over here. If they're still mad about it, I'm just gonna like not know what to do. I'm just gonna like approach it from a very neutral standpoint, which is not bad, I mean, in that case. But like, so say say you take the opposite of that and somebody were to flirt with me though, it's like the problem with me taking a neutral stance in that kind of an environment, right? You would end up making them upset, and it's like I would hate to think that like because of me not picking up on this stuff, I'm making somebody else sad. You know, like that makes me sad, and like that's the one part that I don't like about being like being oblivious to certain social situations, right? It's like that's the one thing that stinks because like I would hate to think that because I didn't pick up on something or reacted in a neutral way that I made somebody else worse off. Like I really, like that makes me not happy. You know what I mean? And that, I don't know. Like it's weird. Yeah, it's weird, but I don't know. Like, yeah, and again, I don't think you should really focus in on it. Like, don't stress about it. If you've got like, I know certain people like people have ADHD. People have, like numerous different things, and it's like, yeah, it affects your brain. It affects how you think. It affects how you act. It's like, don't dwell on it though, because that's just gonna make it worse. You know, if you're I mean, it's the same thing. Like if you're sick, like in your, like, if you're either sick or if you're thinking like, oh well, I'm gonna get sick, like you have a much higher chance of actually getting sick because your body's like already predisposed to like that being your mindset, right? I feel like by dwelling on this, like if I were to just like double down and just like say, oh yeah, I don't know how to interact with people, you know what I mean? Like I feel like that's just using it as an excuse to just like not try, and I don't think that's healthy. I don't think that's productive. Like I really don't. So yeah, but you know, don't dwell on it. Don't like overthink it. Like just be what you are. Do what you can, and I don't know, live long and prosper. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, man. You know, I don't really get too deep around here. You know, you're usually just playing some goofy game or whatever, but I don't know. I just wanted to speak my mind a little bit about some things. I don't know, just kind of chilling around a little bit, you know. But yeah, I don't know. I just felt like it needed to be said because one like, don't get me wrong, I really like Jacksepticeye, right? Like don't get me wrong, I really like Jacksepticeye, but one of his recent videos, what was it titled? And I mean, it's not like I'm not a huge channel or anything, so it's not like the people of this channel are gonna like go after him or anything. Nor would it make a difference if if the few people that watch this channel say anything. I mean, what, to the 28 mil subs that he has right now? But no, he just came out with a video called "Trying to Cure My ADHD." He was recently diagnosed with ADHD, right? I don't know. That video was off-putting. I don't know how everybody else felt about it, but I I was personally I was off-put by it. Like I didn't know really what to think about it. I felt like, in a way, I felt like it was just not a responsible video to make. Nor like I feel like the way he addressed it though made it like kind of goofy. I don't know. I don't really like. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but like to me, that video was like, I don't know. It's confusing. It's like he, you know, came out and said like, hey, I got diagnosed with this. I recommend other people getting diagnosed if they think, you know, that they might have it or something, right? Or like go and get checked to see if you could, you know, if you. But it's like, why though? Like, why? I don't know. It's like, why do you need to get checked for it? A, and then B, like the way that he presented the video where he's just playing with all these toys and stuff, it's just like, I don't know, it's like dumbing down like a serious topic. And maybe, and you know, and it's like maybe that's what he meant to do. Like maybe he wanted to like play it off as like, oh, it's not as bad as you think. You know, it's like, oh, it's not as bad as what you think. And it's like, I don't know. I get mixed. I don't know. I get mixed sort of thoughts about it. It's strange. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't really know how to think about that video. But like, I don't know. I felt like it was just kind of like, I don't know. It's like what's the point? Like that was what I was trying to think about like during the video. It's like, what's the point of making this video? Is it like to like make light of the situation, which is fine. It's like, yeah, it's like, you know, if that's his take on it, sure. Like, you know, I think, you know, we can make fun of it, you know. It's like I make fun of myself about Asperger's all the time. It's like, I don't know. You know, it's like, you know, I play it myself with it sometimes, but like, it's just like, I don't know. I don't really understand his conviction in the video. Like I didn't know what his purpose in that video was. Cause like it's like, yeah, he's playing it down, like, you know, by sort of making it like, oh, we're just gonna play with these toys to cure my ADHD, you know, sort of just playing fun at it. You know, that's one way to sort of deal with it, right? Like it's just like, you know, it's not a big deal. You know, it's like that's probably the healthy way to deal with it, honestly. But like, I don't know. I could see like it also being a point though where you would have where you would have basically where you would have like, I don't know, I could see some people like that actually have ADHD real bad, right? Like real bad. I have a couple of friends that have had it in the past, and it's like, yeah, there's certain struggles to it, like legitimate struggles to it. You know, and it sort of hampers their ability to do certain stuff, like with you know, with the work and things like that. And it's like I could see them kind of getting, I can maybe see them getting a little frustrated at that video, honestly, because like of how it does sort of play it down. Because some people do have it worse off, and like, you know, as far as like, you know, an autism spectrum thing or whatever, right? Like I feel like Asperger's pretty like low on the tier list. But you know, it's like I'm not gonna play fun at somebody else's you know, I'm not gonna play at like the general idea. It's like I'm not gonna make a video where I make fun of Asperger's, right? Like I'm not gonna really do that. I don't think that that's a good thing to do because some people do have it worse off than I do. I mean, you take who was it? I think it was Albert Einstein. Had what they believe now to be some form of Asperger's, but he was to the point where he, I don't think, could like tie his own shoes or something. Like he couldn't actually, you know, properly dress himself. I don't think. I could be wrong. Don't quote me. I know that there was one character in the past that had something like it, where they, you know, they had it real bad off. And it's like, you know, but they were a really successful individual. They just, you know, had this thing. You know, they just, you know, thought differently. But like, I feel like if I were to like just make fun of the idea in general, that it would not, it would not be fair to the people that actually do have it bad, you know. Like I don't know how bad, you know, Jacksepticeye has it, you know what I mean, but like I would imagine there's other people with ADHD far worse. You know, I mean, not knowing him personally, it's hard to tell, but like, you know, the way he sort of plays it off in the video, it's kind of like, it's like, you know, if he is playing fun at it, you know, it's like maybe that's his way to deal with it and like sort of move on, right? But at the same time, it's odd because like I feel like the people that actually do have ADHD really bad, I feel like some of them could possibly be offended by it. You know, whether he intended, I mean, he, of course he didn't intend for it to be that way. Of course not. Like he's not the kind of person to do that, you know what I mean? And I feel like if he did get some backlash about it, maybe like, you know, he would probably take it down. Like he's done stuff in the past that he's, you know, said sorry about, but like, no, it's a confusing situation. I am curious, you know, now that we're on the topic, why don't we, I'm not actually gonna pull up the audio or anything because I don't want to get struck by YouTube. I want to see what some of the comments say. Okay, well maybe people relate better than I think. But then again, I mean, this is the comment section, so like pretty much everything's going to be the like the positive stuff first, right? You know what I mean? Because like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of positive stuff. Like everything in the video is wonderful. The expressions, commentary, like yeah, it's yeah, a lot of people apparently just relate, but like I don't know. Maybe I'm the one overthinking it. Like I don't know. I was just taken aback by it, just because like it poses the potential for certain people to get upset about it. Is maybe like my take on it. Like I'm just picturing if I were to make a like if I were in that position making fun of a topic, right? Like I feel like people would be offended by that in a way. You know what I mean? Where it would be, I don't know. It's like, you know, if I were to make fun of people that have like a problem socially interacting with people, I feel like it'd be bad. But like, I don't know. Yeah, it's odd. And again, I mean, maybe it's a thing of just like, well, you know, if you're a popular YouTuber, like you can kind of get away with a bit more. I mean, look at PewDiePie. Sorry, no, PewDiePie's great. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, but my man PewDiePie, he's gotten a pass on a few things, you know. Yeah, he's gotten hit a couple of times, you know what I mean. But like, yeah, I don't know. It's odd how like, you know, I don't know. It's odd how like some content gets a pass and others don't. Like I don't know. Again, maybe it's just a popularity thing. Like you don't want your really popular people to sort of, you know, do whatever they want. Or you want them to be able to like just keep making content. If they make a mistake, just like rewrite it. Just like rewrite history in a way. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, yeah, they did this bad thing, but like let's just move on, you know. But like I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it because like I don't know. Most of the comments I was seeing, even like I scrolled a bit further down, and like even some of like the lower liked comments, right? We're all still relatively like I relate and stuff, right? So maybe I'm overthinking it because like I don't know. It's odd because like I don't know. At first when I watched a video like with no context of like, you know, the comments or anything, my take was like very like I was confused by like how or why he was making the video in a way. It's like I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, again, now at this point, this is the point where I get into the confusion loop and I want to work through it, but I just really can't right now. You know what I mean? It's just like I'm trying to think through this social situation and like I'm not really coming up with a conclusion to it. You know what I mean? So it's just like I don't know. I don't know. It's again, I'm doing it again. Oh goodness. But I guess in short, sort of, you know, to sort of wrap it up. It's like when it comes to like, you know, if you have some sort of a thing about you that, you know, it's like some sort of a mental thing where you know, it's like, oh well this, you know, oh you've got this and it's gonna make it to where you have to spin around 3 times a day. It's like, do you though? You know, it's like, do you have to force yourself to fit into that mold? Because if you sort of if you what's a good word? If you dwell on that, if you like dwell on a syndrome, a symptom, a something, it's inevitably going to either get worse or stay constant. So like if you have a sore throat, if you think like, oh, my throat is sore, that's the only thing I'm going to think about, and apply sore throat to my life, it's like, of course, you're just going to keep a sore throat, even if it's not sore. It's like, oh, you know, I'm just the guy with the sore throat, you know? So I feel like if you keep, like, you know, either like ADHD, Asperger's, you know, just things like that, if you just like, if you figure out like the mold for that, and then just like throw that mold over your life, it's going to make those conditions worse. You know, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's okay and people feel comfortable adopting like the textbook definition, as it were. It's like I don't think that that's healthy though, honestly. Like I don't think you should dwell on that stuff. I think you should like do your own thing, like be yourself. If you happen to fit into that mold naturally, hey, you know, it's like sure. But I feel like if you dwell on it, like you're pretty much guaranteed going to fit into it because like you're already predisposed to like, oh, this is how I'm supposed to act because I have this. And I don't think that's giving yourself a fair chance for something different. you know, it's like yeah, I know roughly what Asperger's is about, but at no point would I like at no point would I like write that on like a paper or something, you know what I mean? Like if I'm having to like apply to something, like I'm not necessarily going to write that because like I don't think like I'm going to do the job or I'm going to do whatever based on my own character, whether that be with Asperger's or no. Like I'm just gonna do whatever it is on my own, on my own character. You hate real estate? A bit of a random topic to bring here, but yeah, welcome to the stream. Deflated pillow man. Yeah, welcome to the stream. Yeah, sorry, I'm just kind of wrapping up a little bit of a serious topic for the night. Yeah, I actually just finished up playing Knights of Pen and Paper, so if you're here because of the schedule, sorry. Yeah, sorry. But yeah, to continue where I left off, it's kind of a thing of like, don't really fit into like a mold. Like that's kind of what I'm trying to convey here. It's like, if you do have some sort of a condition or some sort of a thing that's affecting how you act, think, etc., I think that you really should just just be yourself. Don't dwell on whatever the consequences of X condition is, right? Like don't dwell on that. It's just gonna make it worse. Just be yourself, and I don't know. That's it really. Like that's all I think it really is. What it comes down to is just like being, I don't know. Like be aware that yes, you do have a condition. You have, you do have something up. Like, it's like know enough about it to where like you, I don't know, what's a good way to put it? It's like know enough about it to where you can know, like, know your own sort of weakness, I guess is a good way to put it. But don't dwell on said weakness and apply it to your character. Like, know said weakness and try to break out of that mold if you can. Because it is going to be better for you if you do break out of the mold. Whether that's completely, slightly, etc., right? I feel like, at least for me, like, not dwelling on the fact that, like, oh, social interaction is difficult or some nonsense, right? Like, I feel like that, breaking out of that, you open up a lot of room for character, like, you open up a lot of room for growth. You can interact with people, maybe not as well as somebody that doesn't have it. Hey, well, thank you. But like, yeah, so, if somebody does have Asperger's, right? It's like, social interaction's difficult. You have, sort of difficulty picking up on social norms. It's like, don't dwell on that. Don't dwell on that. Try to get better at those. If you dwell on it, yeah, it's just going to be a lot worse. And, I don't know. The reason that this whole talk sort of catch you up, deflated pillow man, is because we were talking about if you want to get caught up, check out the last VOD we did, the Knights of Pen and Paper episode 7. The last VOD that we did, I started towards the end. I was talking about how it's confusing how certain people think, certain ways. Like, especially like people that like are doing something bad to get caught. They're the ones to get mad, right? Like that's what led into more of a general talk about I don't know, just how people think in a way, or at least how I think. But yeah. Anyway, it is 11 o'clock here, so I'm starting to get tired, honestly. But sort of to put a sort of a final note before we wrap up this evening. Yeah, just be yourself. Don't overthink your syndrome, condition, whatever, and do what you can to like not fit into the mold that condition, syndrome, whatever. Like, don't fit into the mold just because you have it. Because there's a lot of people, and like even people I know, that, like they have something going on, right? And they like try, like you can tell they almost fit it to a T, but almost, but they're not really going against it. And I mean, I hate to say it, but some people just use it as an excuse, like, oh, I can be like, I can just be rude, or I can be this or that just simply because I have this, and like use it as an excuse. It's like, oh, sorry, I've got this. And it's like such a such a low thing to do, honestly. Like man, I don't know. I don't know. It's odd. It's like, I don't know. I Anyway, yeah, I think I've already gone long enough. We're almost, yeah, I think I've gone long enough in this. But like, man, um, yeah, it's just, yeah, it's just, I wish people just wouldn't take it so hard, like when it comes to those types of things. Like, there are people that are legitimately affected harsh by it. Like I had a friend back in high school that like clearly had like ADHD really bad, but like he never really talked about it though. You know what I mean? He never brought it up. Like he just did his own thing. It's like he was him, just he had ADHD. You know what I mean? It's like he was him, you know? It's like he was his own guy. Like he didn't use it as like a crutch to carry him through like difficult situations or like weird social interactions. You know? It's like, you know, and it's like for me, it's like, you know, if I goof up a interaction with somebody, it's like I'm not gonna say like, well, I, you know, you can't judge me because I had, you know, Asperger's. You know, it's like you can't judge me because I've got this condition. Like no, they're welcome to judge me however they want. You know, at the end of the day, it's like I'm a person. I'm expected to have a certain standard. You know, that I meet, and it's like, you know, I'm not gonna use that kind of a condition to justify me not being able to perform, you know? Like, you know, it's like some people do have it bad though. I do understand. Like some people do have it bad, and I hope for the best for those people, but there's a lot of people that see the mold, adopt the mold, and then just roll with it because then they can use it as an excuse. You know, and it's like those are the people that I have less sympathy for, honestly, because like you can tell who has it bad and who doesn't. Like my friend back in high school, you could tell he struggled with ADHD. He was all over the place, you know what I mean? Like you can tell. But it didn't stop him. Like he was still doing all sorts of good stuff. Like he was active in the community, like he did all sorts of stuff. But there's some people that are, you know, almost the opposite, where they use it as a crutch, use that as an excuse to basically justify just bad behavior, just not performing, like not contributing. And it's like those are the types of people that I don't see eye to eye with. Like I do not appreciate that kind of logic. I really don't. And it's like I don't know. I don't know. It's a confusing situation because like you can't really call people out on it in the same way that you would just like, oh, you have a criminal, right? They go to steal something. It's like obviously you can call them out on it. You know, it's like most people would be good with calling them out on it. But things like how people think. Like it's what's a good way to put it? Not really. I guess taboo would be a word that you could use for it. Like I guess it's still kind of like taboo, I guess, to talk about these things and like sort of, I wouldn't say play them down, but like not acknowledge the severity of some of the, not even that. I don't know. It just, some people don't have it as bad until they know they have it, and then they get it worse because they just adopt it. Um, I guess is all I'm trying to say. So like, it's not as bad as people think. The problem is people see it on paper and then just roll with it. They just take it and roll with it. And that's the frustrating bit, because it's just like, for the people that do have it and like do want to keep like pressing on and like trying to like break out of the mold, like it's difficult for them, because like they see like, because I mean, it's, I don't really say it's a controversial take, but like people that do use those types of conditions as an excuse to kind of do whatever they want, it's like, it does leave a bad sort of aftertaste for the people that do try, that do have conditions and then still try. It leaves a bad aftertaste in them, right? Because like, it's like nullifying their attempt, because like a lot of times people that do use conditions like that, like for a like a crutch, like they generally, I wouldn't necessarily say succeed more, but like they definitely get more acknowledgement, is a good way to put it. It's like the people that like call it out and say like, oh, I've got this, or I think this way, like those are the people that like, they're the ones that get the most attention, maybe a good way to put it. And it's like, well, for somebody that's not playing into the mold, it's like what's the, like, why are we trying then? Like, why are we trying to not be in the mold when the mold is very comfortable to be in? You know what I mean? It's a lot less confusing when you're in the mold, because then it's like, oh, I've got my whole character just written on paper. I can just play this character, as opposed to like, oh, I'm gonna step out of this role and now I'm my own confusing individual that doesn't know what to do anymore. And it's like, well, I don't know. Just like, again, some people have it worse off than others, and it's like, sympathy goes out to them. But the people that do just like get diagnosed with something, see it on paper, and just, oh, this is my new D&D character sheet. You know what I mean? It's like I don't like the people that use a diagnosis as a character sheet. Like, I don't like it. Like, it's really, I really do not like it when people do that, honestly. I don't know, man. I've already probably said too much. I've already said too much. But yeah, that's kind of just what I wanted to say. But yeah, I mean, dude, that's a whole episode's worth of me just rambling on. Goodness, man, we could have been playing some more Knights of Pen and Paper, having a great fun time, but my brain was just like, nope, we're gonna talk about characters and character traits and different ways of thinking. Like, that's where my brain decided to rail us today. So here we are. We're finally at the station. Having gone, the whole 44-minute trek on, the train there. But yeah, we are at the station, and I'm tired. I'm going to find myself a nice little bed to get in. I'm going to bed because I am tired, man. But nah, Knights of Pen and Paper was fun. We're going to be hitting up some Elden Ring tomorrow, so hope everybody's able to stick around. Gonna be doing some Elden Ring tomorrow. Look forward to it. Hey, Red Wing! Hey, welcome back. I was gonna say, you're jumping in. We're getting ready to finish. Yeah, we're getting ready to wrap up for the day. Yeah, but yeah, hey, feel free. Drop by tomorrow. I know. I know. Oh goodness. But nah, hey, feel free. Drop by tomorrow. We'll be doing some more Elden Ring. So hey. Gotta love some Elden Ring, man. But yeah, yeah, feel free. Elden Ring tomorrow, usual time. It's on the schedule, all that jazz. But yeah, I'm going to bed. I'm tired. It is 11:15 here, so hey, I need to get some sleep. So Anyway, thanks again, all you Coop operatives out there, as well as anybody else joining me on the couch today. Like I said, feel free. Gonna be streaming tomorrow, but until then, I shall see you all next time. Have a good one. Bye.